2 weeks ahead of the presidential polls in Afghanistan, a wave of violence is sweeping the country. More than 20 people were killed in the past week alone, raising security concerns. The Taliban has claimed responsibility for the bloodshed and has asked Afghans to stay away from the election. CCTV's Callebs is here in the studio for more on the story, and it's widespread violence in Afghanistan. It's frightening, of course, but really doesn't come as much of a surprise, does it? What kind of impact is this having on the people?
Well, it doesn't come in a surprise if you consider what's coming up. The first real free elections since 2001, the U.S.-led invasion that drove the Taliban from power. The Taliban has made it clear that they're going to do everything in their power to disrupt the elections. The last thing they want are free elections to see a freely elected leader. Now, what happened yesterday is simply terrifying under any circumstances. The Serena Hotel in the heart of Kabul, considered probably the safest place outside of government entities in that entire city. It is a walled area that has 2 sets of guards, metal detectors. Apparently 4 18-year-olds were able to go inside by smuggling small pistols inside the soles of their shoes with a great deal of ammunition as well. Once they got in, they made their way to the restaurant. It was a particularly heinous act because it was also on the Afghan New Year. Nowruz, a big celebration. The place was packed, and they began opening fire. They killed 4 international citizens, 5 Afghans, including a very well-known journalist in that area, the bureau chief for AFP, who had been there for years, quite beloved in that area. Truly shocking. They also killed 2 of his children and his wife.
Oh.
It was just a violent attack. The Taliban is claiming responsibility for that. Also want to show you a map, just to show you just how widespread the violence is. Not just in Kabul, but if you look to the east, Jalalabad in Nangarhar province, there was an attack there. To the northwest, up in Faryab, an attack there. And just a matter of hours ago, down in Kandahar, another attack there.
Well, let's talk about the well-coordinated attack in the eastern part of the country, Jalalabad, because you touched on that. This was very well-coordinated, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that is a violent area. This is an area where the Taliban have been entrenched for a long time. If you look to the east, Nangarhar province, and then you go down on through Khost and in Kandahar and Helmand. Apparently what happened there, a great deal of Taliban simply stormed a police building around 5 o'clock in the morning. They plowed their way through a checkpoint and then had a suicide vest on. They killed at least 11 people, injured twice that many in, as you said, just a well-coordinated attack.
The U.S. has an enormous stake in all of this. They've been there for 13 years. What's their reaction to all of this?
Well, it certainly has to be unsettling. The State Department came out today and said, of course, the U.S. Embassy in Kabul is condemning this violence. But this is a critical time because the U.S. is making it clear it's going to pull out at the end of 2014 under the best of circumstances. However, current President Hamid Karzai has not signed the bilateral security agreement, so the U.S. could be forced out very soon, leaving that country to be defended by Afghan troops, Afghan police. It's clear after what has happened over the past 2 or 3 months that the Taliban are still a tremendous force, and the Afghan troops are going to have every inch of, they're going to be really pressed. It's going to be very difficult for them to provide security in that country.
Callebs on a very important story, and you'll stay on top of it. Thanks so much.